strong.
Welcome back to Crypto for Freedom, where we talk about gaining financial freedom through the cryptocurrency markets. Diving back into Dogecoin on the weekly chart, we can see that Dogecoin is still within our ascending parallel channel, making higher lows and higher highs. Now, this is pretty much to be expected, as we've been talking about on our recent videos. But as you can see, that Dogecoin is capable of having extremely explosive moves on a weekly candle. This candle right over here in November of 2024 went up 85%, as you can see. And then more recently over here in July, Bitcoin had a 47% weekly candle. So we can see that Dogecoin can move extremely fast, moving up 50% in a single week. If we were going to have that same kind of move this week, a 40 to 50% move would bring us close to the top of this channel. And if that were to happen, I could see Dogecoin breaking out of this channel and heading back up to 48 cents to retest the resistance from back in December of 2024. Now, time is running out, you guys, and it seems like things are happening real fast here. Bitcoin is breaking out of this channel that it's been in. Bitcoin is finally breaking out of this resistance that it's been held down at 120,000 with a nice decisive move on this weekly candle. Now, we still have to see where Bitcoin closes for the week, but if we finish strong this week, I think we could see continuation. Now, zooming out on the monthly chart, you can see at the end of the 2021 cycle, we had multiple weeks in a row of massive moves. That was a 50% move. This was a 55% move. This was a 70% move. And the final move was like a 40% move. So like back to back to back weeks of massive moves. And, you know, I think we could be in for something similar very soon here with this breakout. We're going to be looking for Bitcoin to enter into price discovery here and come to the top of its own ascending parallel channel here for the blow off top for the end of the 4-year cycle for Bitcoin. Now, if that happens, Dogecoin should come up and make a new all-time high somewhere, in my opinion, because Dogecoin has been able to make new all-time highs in each one of its previous cycles. And if it were not to come up and make a new all-time high this cycle, I would be pretty shocked, because the trend is your friend into the end. And, you know, unless we see Dogecoin do anything other than what it's done before after this year, then I'm just going to believe that the trend is my friend. Dogecoin will come up and make a new high. It should come back down into a new accumulation range to find support for the next bear market. And that's when you're going to want to accumulate Dogecoin and to get ready for the next run in 2028, 2029. And I think that's when we could see Dogecoin actually go up to 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, possibly even higher. Who knows, depending on what Bitcoin ends up doing, especially now that Dogecoin has its own ETF, and who knows how many more ETFs are going to come out for Dogecoin, and who knows what other kind of bullish catalysts are going to come out for Dogecoin, you know, sending it even higher than it previously, you know, has been in the past. Now, jumping over here to the 7-year market cycle theory, in my opinion, I've basically been saying that we're going to be seeing a lower high for Dogecoin against its Bitcoin pair. So that means Dogecoin against its Bitcoin pair is not going to come up, you know, higher than 0.50336 maybe to touch this trend line. I like coming over here to the inverse chart of this chart, which is the 1 over Doge Bitcoin pair. And you can see the same chart here, except for upside down. And the way I like to read this chart is when the other chart I just showed you is going up, this one would be going down to this trend line. And you can see that if it were to come all the way down to this trend line, then one Bitcoin would cost you 285,000. So yeah, if it were to come down to this trend line, you can see that one Bitcoin would cost you about 286,000 Dogecoin. Okay, right now one Bitcoin costs you 471,000 Dogecoin. So Bitcoin has way outperformed Dogecoin in that factor. But if Dogecoin were to come up and see a blow off top against the US dollar, we could see Dogecoin gain value on Bitcoin, which it would cost you less Dogecoin to get one Bitcoin. Or if you look at it the other way, this is where it would be the blow off top for Dogecoin. It would come up and make a higher low against Bitcoin and then fall back down into this channel, just like it did over here when it made its final blow off top in 2017. It fell back into this channel to complete the 7-year cycle before finally in 2021 breaking out against Bitcoin. And that's what I expect to happen in 2028, to finally see Dogecoin come out and break out against Bitcoin and go on a bull run in 2029 and come up and see those higher, crazier prices for Dogecoin. So if you guys want to see long-term wealth and you want to see, massive gains like 29,000% and 10,000%, you got to be holding for the long term and having a plan. You have to have an emergency fund to protect your assets. You have to have a constant stream of income coming in. You have to be living on less than you make. And to do that, you have to be living on a budget, having a plan with your money, and just having good discernment and making the right decisions for you and your family. I just like to buy and hold. And I have conviction in my plays, which means I'll never get swayed from my conviction. And that's what you guys have to have to have these long-term gains, because you can't really expect to get rich in crypto and just get rich overnight, coming in and buying $100. I mean, there was one coin I made substantial money on, AIOZ network. I put $100 into that, and it went up to worth $7,000. That was pretty crazy. I didn't sell it up there, but I have taken $1,500 off of that, and off that $100, and I still have, I think, $1,200 left in that. So there are plays and opportunities where you can do that, but lately I just want to stick with what feels safe to me, and that's Bitcoin and Dogecoin. They have long-term track records of coming up and making higher highs in each bull run, and until the trend is broken, I'm just gonna count on the 4-year cycle happening the rest of this year. So put your comments and thoughts down below if you think if Dogecoin is going to come up and make a higher high this year, this 4-year cycle, or if that's it, if Dogecoin is cooked. Let me know in the comments below. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and thank you guys all for the continued support. Make sure to like the video and check out all my other videos in the playlist. And with that, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.